about staging that. And I guess we saw Herschel's head, like in the lobby. So what role did that sort of play in the movie, what you saw there?
Well, the sword, my favorite toy, besides the gun, maybe, sorry. You know, it's a fantastic piece to have against his throat and know that that's possible to have happen. And then, of course, Greg's team with the ability to replicate a person that is that close on the show and put it as a chopped head in the show is amazing. And the digital effects helps there. And, you know, there's so many elements that go into a shot like that, but just that, the way it's shot, the way it's put together, and the way the actors are able to hold that together for those moments, and how much intensity Andy can give that.
Now you told me there's a version of the Michonne sword that's sharp and actually cuts. Did you use it in that scene?
No. Actually, the sword in the lobby is the sword that was used there. I actually brought the original sword that we rarely take out because it's still in the show. But because I knew the head was coming, I brought the sword.
You know,
let me remind you, we're in the Smithsonian. We're talking about the Smithsonian.
what a lot of people don't realize is every time half the time we shoot a scene like that with Michonne walking through, killing walkers, or using machetes, or using any stabbing implements, a lot of times those are shot with just holding the handle, with a little piece of green tape sticking out, or a half sword. And the actors have to mime all of their actions, and the zombie performers have to mime when they actually take the hit. So it's challenging because there have been a couple scenes where Denai was swinging the sword and she would have chopped off Andy's head, Daryl's head. Because she only had a half the sword and she wasn't thinking about the fact that if they're standing right there.
It's a lot of the stabbing like this, and then the stab like that, and then finish with the stab. It's kind of like that.
So between what John ends up building, and then we do the practical blood stuff, and then visual effects, it always amazes me the orchestra that we have to conduct to make this show. And when Scott said earlier that we shoot the show in 8 days, I think Game of Thrones has like 23 days to shoot an episode. And we've had directors come onto our show that have shot on everything on television, and they look at us like, I don't know how you guys do it day after day in 8 days. I mean, it really is a testament to everybody on this stage and everyone on the show in general, because it's hardcore and it's nonstop. So for the Herschel head prop in episode 9, where Michonne comes back and finds the head, we had done a cast of Scott and re-sculpted it, and if you notice on that prop, every single hair is punched in individually. It took about 2 weeks just to put the hair in and style the hair. And then we had mechanics that would open and close the mouth. And one of the things that's important to me as a director and as a special effects artist is mix your mediums, always. Like, when the audience looks at you and says, I don't know how they did that, then you have accomplished something special. So we put contact lenses into one of my crew members and filmed his eyes, and then visual effects composited his eyes onto the prop head. And there's a shot where a fly actually lands on the head, and we made it so that the eyes could look up when a real fly landed on the head. So when you watch that, it's like, wait a minute, they didn't put a green bib on him, but the eyes were alive, but it was clearly severed. How did they do that? That's to me is the greatest accomplishment. And you know, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've worked with Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino and Steven Spielberg, and I consider myself, I've had the best boot camp in the world because I've worked on Pulp Fiction and I've worked on The Green Mile, and I've been in the trenches with these directors who craft these amazing, amazing visuals. And so for me, it's always about mixing your mediums to keep the audience guessing. And in this day and age with computers, everybody goes, oh, they just did it CGI. But if you can get them for a split second to go, wait a second, then you've got something.
It is amazing how many shots